You already know Sardinian isn't a dialect, it's its own language. But this is about one city in Sardinia where they don't even speak that. They speak Catalan. Because after conquering the city, the Crown of Aragon deliberately repopulated it with Catalan settlers, completing the process by 1372. Algherese, Alghérès, to the tens of thousands of people who live in Alghero, on Sardinia's northwest coast, is a variety of Catalan, not Sardinian and not Italian. It's the only town in Italy where Catalan is spoken as a living local language, an archaic form of Eastern Catalan that split off from the mainland variety centuries ago, and has been evolving on its own ever since, absorbing Sardinian and Italian influence along the way. It's easy to assume that this is just another Sardinian dialect. It isn't. Sardinian and Catalan aren't even in the same language family branch. Alghero is a genuine outside implant, sitting inside an island that already has its own distinct linguistic identity. Alghero was founded in the early 1100s by the Genovese Doria family. In 1354, the Crown of Aragon, under Peter IV the Ceremonious, conquered it as part of a broader campaign to control Sardinia. Local residents revolted against the new rulers. The response was severe. Much of the existing population was expelled or displaced. And by 1372, the town had been substantially resettled with Catalan speakers and settlers from the Aragonese crown. That's not gradual cultural drift. That's a government deciding, deliberately, to demographically replace a town's population with people who spoke a different language. And the city walls built afterwards likely reinforced the separation, helping keep the Catalan community somewhat apart from the Sardinian countryside around it, alongside whatever other factors that allowed the dialect to persist. This wasn't settlers arriving over generations. It was a population displaced and replaced on a large scale, deliberately. Catalan functioned as Alghero's official administrative language for roughly 3 centuries before being displaced, gradually by Spanish, as Aragon became absorbed in the wider Spanish monarchy, and later by Italian. Today, Italian dominates daily life and education. Surveys going back decades have found that Italian, not Algherese, is now most residents' first language. Algherese survives as a recognized minority language, protected under Italian law, but it's a minority within a minority, a Catalan pocket in a Sardinian region in an Italian state. The walls were likely one factor among many here. Unlike Grico's rural isolation or the Alberes's mountain villages, Alghero's isolation was urban and administrative, a fortified town distinct in status that kept its own language as the language of governance and commerce for centuries long after the original conquest. By the time those institutional protections faded, the dialect had already outlasted the conditions that created it. Sardinia sent its own immigrants to the Americas and beyond, starting in the late 19th century. And it's reasonable to assume that Alghero was no exception, carrying in some family lines a double layer of displaced identity that they haven't unpacked. Italian citizenship, Sardinian regional identity, and underneath that a hometown whose language is Catalan rather than Sardinian or Italian. It's the same pattern that this channel keeps finding. Italy exporting identities that were never Italian to begin with. It also reframes my earlier Sardinian video directly. Sardinia isn't one hidden identity waiting to be uncovered. It's several, stacked. And Alghero is proof that there's always another layer under the one that you just found. Algherese has semi-official recognition today, taught in some local schools, with Catalan language cultural programming and ties actively maintained with the region of Catalonia itself. This is one of the only communities in this format that still has a living homeland relationship to reach back to, unlike Grico's connection with an ancient vanished Magna Grecia or Byzantine Greece. Whether that relationship is enough to slow Italianization long-term is genuinely open. So let's come back to the walls on the city. A government moved an entire population from a region of Spain in 1372 to make a point about power. And centuries later, people are still speaking that language that decision left behind. Sardinia isn't one identity, it's layers, and this is the layer inside the layer. Catalan is one of the recognized minority languages in Italy, and in other videos I've spoken about a lot of them, including Sardinian, which you can find here. If you like this type of content, talking about regional languages, regional interesting facts, and the history of Italy and the diaspora, then Oriundi is for you. I'm curious if you have any connections to this village. Let me know in the comments below. Ciao for now, e alla prossima.